I'm Maria, and this is the Agile State of Mind. Welcome! Today, we're gonna continue talking about the Scrum Master stances. And this time, we'll touch on my favorite one, that is Scrum Master as a teacher. I'll teach you, just tell me what you want to learn. Or better yet, I'll tell you what you want to learn. Let's see how it goes. I use the term stances freely, and I based it mainly on my experience and two other sources. One is Barry Overeem's 8 Stances of Scrum Master, and second is Lisa Atkins' Coaching Agile Teams book, where she refers to them as Agile coaching styles, not stances. Depending on the situation, Scrum Masters adopt a number of stances. There is the impediment remover, as described in the previous video, the teacher, facilitator, change agent, coach, and mentor. In his 8 stances, Barry also mentions a servant leader and a manager. But if we think about it, Scrum Master should always be a servant leader and never a manager. So the last two don't depend so much on a situation, but rather on the role itself. Okay, so now let's talk about what does it actually mean to teach. And for that, I took a look at the dictionaries, so we are on the same page. Oxford Dictionary says to help somebody learn something by giving information about it. Cambridge Dictionary says that it is to give someone knowledge, to train someone, to instruct. I guess I like the teacher's stance so much because I really like training people and promoting knowledge, which in the end means facilitating the learning. That's also why I really enjoy recording those videos. Really glad to be helping others learn about Agile. In the end, it means for the Scrum Master or Agile coach to develop a toolbox where they have different tools they can use for different situations. When you read Lisa Atkins' Coaching Agile Teams book, that I refer to almost in every video, so I highly recommend it, you will clearly see the difference between what is a coach, as in professional life coaching, and what is an Agile coach, that I also mentioned in my video about Agile coaching. She talks really clearly about the firmness of an Agile coach teachings about Agile, as opposed to letting the coachee direct the way in their development and finding their own solutions. We have solutions in Agile. And she says, you know a better way to work, so feel the steel rod as you teach Agile. Convey the rules strongly, along with your belief that Agile gives us a better way to work. She compares the teaching stance to the shoe in a shuhari, meaning that when you are a teacher, you should fear nothing. Your attitude should be solid. Follow these rules. I have followed them before, and I know they will give you what you want. So for now, just follow. Everything you could need is right here in this simple framework. So look here for your answers first. Well, this might sound a bit off, especially when we are talking about coaching, right? We have the notion of not pushing anyone to do anything. It's more like we're suggesting and they should voluntarily come on board. And on top of it, we would never like to be mistaken for a project manager. God forbid. That would be the end of it, right? It is misleading because people don't know what they don't know. So we are not pushing people to do something. We're pushing them to learn something, to expand their horizons. And then after experimenting it for a while, they can decide for themselves whether Scrum or Kanban or whatever we are trying to teach works for them or not. And I remember it was the same for me when I started to learn about Kanban. I didn't know it well, and I knew Scrum much better, and I had experience on working in Scrum with the team. So I was reluctant to try Kanban. Manage the workflow and limit work in progress? That sounds too drastic. So I needed persuasion. I needed to learn about it and to see some examples and exercises that show how it actually works. And look, afterwards, Kanban worked out for me so well that I started adding it to all my Scrum implementation. And now let's talk about something more practical. the teaching moment of Scrum Master. So Lisa mentions that in the cycle of working with the teams, there are many teaching moments when the Scrum Master can put their teaching hat on. Teaching Agile during the team startup, during restarts, during unexpected moments, teaching the roles in Agile, and continuously holding people to the best expression of these roles. So now I will explain a bit how to put this into practice, one, at a team startup. So during my career, I started many teams that started working in Scrum, Kanban, or anything else that we called Agile. And that happened both in co-located teams where we could actually have a presential face-to-face workshop and also with distributed teams via Zoom. Lisa mentions 3 important ingredients when we are bootstrapping a team: learning about the process to be used, learning about the team, and learning about the work ahead. And she's very strict on the order of those things. I like to start with getting to know the team. There are many activities we can use for this, so the team gets to know each other a little better, like personal maps, journey lines, or market of skills, anything you can think of. The goal of this exercise would be to, first, break the ice, and second, help the team learn a little bit more about each other so they can relate. So we can learn about hobbies, stuff we do in free time, and this time we can relate. Oh, look, I also have a kid that is 5 years old. Or, oh, I also like to go on bike rides in my free time. So this helps the team get to know each other, create links. After that, we start to learn about the process. So explain Scrum, explain Kanban, whatever you're going to use, explain all the deviations from the script that your company has, explain the roles. And this also could be done in some kind of exercise, so it's not too boring. And last but not least, let's learn about the work ahead and let's learn about the product that we will be working on and what would be the team goal. For that, it would be great to invite some stakeholders so they can join and they can explain how they can see the team's contribution to the product and also explain their roles, so everybody knows who are the stakeholders and create some relationship with them as well. Usually at this point, I would also ask the team to start thinking about the team name that they can identify with, because it's always great to have a team name that you thought yourself, and this way we create a sense of belonging. 2, teach new team members. So you probably noticed that it's like an ongoing onboarding exercise. Teams change constantly. We hope they won't, but they would. So just prepare for it. What we should do here with a new person is basically a short version of what we described in point number 1. Get the new team member up to speed on the team's process, the team itself, and the product. You can think that some of those exercises could just be recorded. You know, when, for example, I used to do an Agile intro to just put everyone on the same page, and it was always the same. Usually there were not even many questions about the very generic Agile intro. That could be a recording that you send to the new people, and then create a meeting and ask them if they had any questions, and then explain something more profoundly about what this actual team is working on and so on. It's also important to create a moment where they can actually meet the whole team. They can introduce themselves and the whole team introduces themselves. So that is one. But in my previous company, we had a very good habit of asking the newbie, the newcomer, to create a very short 15 to 30 minutes one-on-one sessions with all the team members. And that helped a lot create this relationship that we were talking in the previous point, and also get more familiar with each of the team members. 3, teach the Agile roles. So we have quite some roles in Agile, like product owner, developers, and Scrum Master from Scrum, but we also have UX designers or, well, many Agile managers. That would be great to explain so everybody's on board, because different companies understand different things differently. I said it. It is good to have this moment where everybody can ask, okay, what's expected of my role and what I am responsible for. And let's not be afraid to be responsible. Being responsible is actually giving you the power to respond and to decide. On the other hand, let's also not fall into the pit of, that's your responsibility, not mine. So throwing stuff over the fence, not nice if we want a team to collaborate, to actually have team players in the team. So we need to be a little bit careful with how we get this message across so it doesn't go into one or the other extreme. Not an easy task, but we can do this. 4. Teach the teacher. I love this. So we are not the only ones that know stuff, right? There are many developers that follow great practices and they can share them with others. Maybe they need a little push to do it. So for that, we can create moments of sharing knowledge. We can leverage some formats of peer-to-peer training like communities of practice, lightning talks, brown bags, or bridge talks, whichever format works best for you. Creating communities of practice makes a lot of sense because it's not only that we always present something and there's always this one person that knows and the rest doesn't. It's creating a community where people meet around a domain, a special topic, they are passionate about it, and they discuss and create their own great practices. What we do in OutSystems have a format that's called bridge talks. The main goal of a bridge talk is to inform, ask, or educate other teams. Inform. We're working on a new policy, new practice that should be followed by all of the teams. We have this talk so everybody is aligned and on one page and they can ask questions how to implement it. Ask. We create a prototype or proof of concept for something that we researched so long. So we would like other teams to give us feedback and test it and tell us how they like it. Educate. I'm using this tool. I really like it. Or we just changed our dailies and we think that considerably changed the way we do dailies. They are so much efficient and we plan our day so much better. So we want to share how we do it. So maybe other teams would like to try it as well. I really recommend trying different formats where people can just create a short Zoom call and share the knowledge, ask for feedback. And last but not least, number 5, make use of those teachable moments. Imagine you're on a retrospective and we suddenly realize that maybe we don't actually understand what the daily is for. So it became a status meeting and the manager is coming and giving the team new requests on the daily. This is the moment that we should just stop and say, do you understand the goal of the daily meeting? It is an event for the developers to plan their day. So those are the very delicate moments where we just put everybody on the same page. It's not only to teach the team, it's also to teach that manager what the daily is and how they should be part of it or not. Be alert for those moments where you can, in a very delicate way, teach something new. You can also share some interesting articles or interesting videos like this one, and then you can talk about them. So this way you can promote new ideas and new ways and perspectives of looking at things. Scrum Master as a teacher is a great stance, at least for me. We get to help people learn new things and improve their ways of working. And that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed, just like I do, the teaching stance of the Scrum Master. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.